believe Sri is will be excused on all these. She explained her issue. Delegate Rose is excused. Howard's here. Because Delegate Chi was here, correct? Goofy shit. Throw. Wait a few more minutes for Howard and Chi. Somebody make leadership notes for me this week. I have leadership at 5. We'll get this on. Okay. Come on, guys.
Have a form.
Is she in the back? And what was what?
I texted.
Are we being recorded? I shouldn't mouth those words. With Delegate Howard, did anybody understand what the let's go through the withdrawals. Mr. Vice Chair.
Move on favorable withdrawn House Bill 327, 355, 39.
Nope. Try it again.
327,
Yes.
355, 392, 712, 918, 992, and 814. Is that right? No, sorry, 1014. And 1097. That withdrawn letter just came in.
You read the numbers one more time, please.
Three.
Go ahead.
327, 355, 392, 712, 918, 992, 1014. Chris, what was yours?
1097.
And 1097.
We just vote these on consent calendar? Yes. You put these on a consent calendar.
You didn't.
Wait. We have it? Oh, you have Chris's?
On 91, do we have the withdrawal letter?
91.
91. Don't have it.
What do you want to do? Hold it, withdraw it, or what?
Not 91, we can hold.
We'll hold it for withdrawal.
Withdrawal.
Got to get a letter of withdrawal. What do I do? Consent calendar? In favor?
Yeah, move on favorable withdrawal.
Move up.
I already did. Move on favorable withdrawal.
Is there a second? All in favor, we'll do a voice vote. Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All present. Excuses Delegate Rose, Delegate Howard, and Sample Hughes. All right, so now we move on. Trying to wait for Delegate Howard, but all right, we have to move on to House Bill 17.
Move on favorable.
Okay. You've seconded. House Bill 17. I'm sorry? Oh, you're killing me. Shut up. Okay.
Why does not every
What's wrong?
people don't have the right?
Brief indulgence. Apparently people don't have the right list. That's okay. We're gonna take care of that. Let's 327, House Bill 355, House Bill 392, House Bill 918, House Bill 992, House Bill 1014, Bill 1097. Those were already withdrawn and voted unfavorable. I'm sorry? And 712. My apologies. Okay. On House Bill 17, are we ready? We're recording? We're back on House Bill 17. There was a motion. The motion was unfavorable. Delegate Crosby on the unfavorable.
Aye.
Delegate Harrison. Delegate Boafo. Delegate Howard. Delegate Charkoudian. Delegate Rose. Excuse. Thank you. Delegate Pruski. Delegate Fennell. Delegate Turner. Delegate Sample Hughes excused. Delegate Valderrama. Delegate Chi. Delegate Frazier Hidalgo. Delegate Adams. Delegate Arentz. Delegate Pippy. Delegate Jackson. Delegate Johnson. Delegate Rogers. Delegate Ampray. Delegate Weigel. Delegate Fisher. Delegate Queen. Motion is unfavorable. Bill is moved unfavorable. House Bill 27.
Yes, House Bill 27, Consumer Protection Act, Floral Wire Act, requires a floral wire service to adopt clear billing practices when dealing with local florists and third-party sellers, and disclose certain information to consumers when they are buying from a floral wire service. There is one amendment to the bill from Chair ECM to remove all provisions relating to business transactions, but keeping the consumer to business, the consumer to business transaction piece.
All in favor of the amendment, say aye. All opposed, say no. Amendment passes.
Move the bill as amended.
Any discussion? Seeing none. On the favor with amendments, Delegate Crosby.
Aye.
Delegate Harrison. Delegate Boafo. Delegate Howard. Delegate Charkoudian. Delegate Rose is excused. Delegate Pruski. Delegate Fennell. Delegate Turner. Sample Hughes is excused. Delegate Valderrama. Delegate Chi. Delegate Frazier Hidalgo. Delegate Adams. Delegate Arentz. Delegate Pippy. Delegate Jackson. Delegate Johnson. Delegate Rogers. Delegate Ampray. Delegate Weigel. Delegate Fisher. Delegate Queen. Bills moved favorable. Amendments. Next bill, House Bill 37.
House Bill 37 from Delegate Stewart. This is the Consumer Protection Telephone Solicitation Stop Spam Call Act that was modeled after Florida legislation.
And there was there an amendment?
So there was supposed to be an amendment. I never received it. You got. Amendment from who? Well, we submitted one that Senator Kramer accepted over in the Senate, but nonetheless, I don't have an amendment. So
We just hold it then. No. We were passing it favorable with amendment.
We were passing it straight favorable.
we can just
Oh, it
pass
said
it straight
favorable with
favorable.
amendment. Just pass it favorable then.
Okay. Move favorable.
Yes. Any discussion on the favorable?
The penalty provisions, is this under the Consumer Protection Act?
Yes.
Okay, with all the standard 10,000 in jail and all that?
Actually, the penalty provisions on page 6 of the bill say a violation of this subtitle is unfair, abusive, or deceptive trade practice, subject to enforcement and penalty, but there is a rebuttable presumption that the solicitation is made to a resident, and it doesn't preclude applicability of the Public Utilities article relating to solicitations. Actually, this is fairly similar to what has been done in previous years. Back in 2003, 2004, there was legislation that passed this committee to allow the state to enforce do not call lists. There were questions as to whether that was actually enforceable, because those are, after all, federal pieces of legislation. Actually, the Attorney General at that point said it was helpful to be able to have the state bring suit against these violators in state court, because the feds didn't have enough personnel to do it on their own. Okay.
Brief indulgence. We'll just hold it. We're just gonna hold this bill. All right, please. You need to withdraw.
Make a motion to withdraw my favorable movement.
All those in favor say aye. Opposed, say nay. The ayes have it. We're gonna hold this for now. Next bill is House Bill 61. No worries.
House Bill 61 from Delegate Charkoudian would require, this is basically the prevailing wage for investor-owned utility or gas and electric company contracting. One of the things that it does strike language that was added with the CSNA last year that would limit the application of the fund, the underlying law, to projects that were funded by federal funds, really under the IIJA, and then only to the extent of federal funding.
Move unfavorable.
Is there a second? The motion is unfavorable. Delegate Crosby?
Aye.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't wait for discussion. Is there discussion on this bill?
Yes, Mr. Chair, I just want to make a quick comment. I think that it's important to note that we already have prevailing wage for underground utilities. And so to not have it for above ground utilities is just a little odd. We've made the decision as a body to have it for half of the infrastructure of our energy system. And so I'll be voting against the unfavorable. Thank you.
Any other discussion?
Mimic that, since I have a bill that pays it for underground, that would be a little odd for me to not allow it to be for.
Understand. Any further discussion? Seeing none. Delegate Crosby?
Aye.
Delegate Harrison? Delegate Boafo? Delegate Howard? Delegate Charkoudian? Delegate Rose is excused. Delegate Pruski? Delegate Fennell? Delegate Turner? Delegate Sample Hughes is excused. Delegate Valderrama? Delegate Chi? Delegate Frazier-Hidalgo? Delegate Adams? Delegate Aaron's? Delegate Pippy? Delegate Jackson? No on the unfavorable? Delegate Johnson? Delegate Rogers? Delegate Ampray? Delegate Wyval? Delegate Fisher? Delegate Queen? Motion is unfavorable. Unfavorable passes. Next bill.
House Bill 72 from Delegate Watson alters the definition of charitable contribution to exclude donations of property that are intended to be given away by charity and authorization for the use of services or materials, equipments, or facilities. There is one amendment to the bill, and the amendment authorizes the Secretary of State to adopt in place of an audit or review supporting documents and affidavits attesting that the charitable organization meets certain criteria. The Business Regulation Subcommittee discussed this on Friday and recommends a favorable with amendments vote.
Move the amendment.
Do I have a second? On the amendments, all in favorable? All
Aye.
opposed?
Move the bill as amended.
Delegate Crosby on the amendment.
Aye.
Delegate Harrison. Delegate Boafo. Delegate Howard. Delegate Charkoudian. Delegate Rose is excused. Delegate Pruski. Delegate Fennell. Delegate Turner. Delegate Sample Hughes is excused. Delegate Valderrama.
Yes.
Delegate Chi. Delegate Frazier-Hidalgo. Delegate Adams. Delegate Aaron's. Delegate Pippy. Delegate Jackson. Delegate Johnson. Delegate Rogers. Delegate Ampray. Delegate Wyval. Delegate Fisher. Delegate Queen. Favorable as amended. Passes. Next bill, please. We're gonna, this is Delegate Ampre's bill. You want to hold?
House Bill 91, we just got the unfavorable, or the withdrawal, so that came in, and Kayla forwarded it to everybody. So can I move unfavorable withdrawn?
Please.
Move unfavorable withdrawn.
All in favor?
Let's see.
Or there's a second? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Bill is moved unfavorable, withdrawn. Next bill.
House Bill 132 is by Delegate Chi. It alters the qualifications in order to receive a journeyman's license to provide heating, ventilation, air conditioning, and refrigeration services.
Move favorable.
Any discussion? Delegate Aaron's.
Mr. Chair, I talked about an amendment on this somehow, and I wanted to run it by everybody. One of the things I think is very, very unfair about this bill is that the people that are in this and the people that actually passed this test, they did good. They were serious about their jobs, and they took it to the limit, and they did that. I think this bill, as it is, punishes the people that are going to take this job seriously and learn it and get it done in the time that everybody allotted. And I was looking at an amendment to either give people the opportunity to take the test after the 1070 or 1875 hours, or set a number of hours that they could actually work or be trained, like 2,000, whatever number you could come up with that made sense, that the people that really will do the job will get it done in a shorter time, because they've proven that by the 25 that passed or 25% that passed. This bill will punish those people severely because it'll triple the amount of training that they need. And I think if you could come up with something to say at some point in this bill, in that training, that I have the ability to take that test, and if I pass it, I get all the rights of a journeyman.
So, have you actually requested this amendment, or is this something in thought?
It's just something I'm talking about now. I actually talked about it to a couple people, but I haven't got the amendment out. I would gladly do it if it would be considered.
Brief indulgence. Yeah, because we're early on, we can hold it. Generally, we don't do oral amendments, but, I mean,
Can I ask a question before we hold?
please.
Was there any opposition on the bill? Council?
Wait,
There is one,
right.
there's two. They didn't testify at the hearing, but there was two people who signed up in opposition.
Okay, so, at this point, we're gonna hold the bill, and would you please talk to the bill sponsor?
Committee. And that's what I was kind of hoping to get to the subcommittee. That's what, when I brought it up, I think the sponsor and I discussed it a little bit and said presented it subcommittee if I had one.
All right, well, we'll send it to subcommittee then. We've got time.
Okay.
Next bill.
That are unrelated to fraud.
Move favorable.
Any discussion? Seeing none. Motion is favorable. Delegate Crosby.
Aye.
Delegate Harrison. Delegate Boafo. Delegate Howard. Delegate Charkoudian. Delegate Rose excused. Delegate Pruski. Delegate Fennell. Delegate Turner. Sample Hughes excused. Delegate Valderrama. Delegate Chi. Delegate Frazier Hidalgo. Delegate Adams. Delegate Aaron's. Delegate Pippy. Delegate Jackson. Delegate Johnson. Delegate Rogers. Delegate Ampry. Delegate Wyval. Delegate Fisher. Delegate Queen. Bill passes. Next bill, please.
A license on inactive status within 3 years to comply with specified licensing requirements that are in current law.
Move favorable.
Any discussion? Any other discussion? Seeing none. Yes. The motion's favorable.
Yep.
Properly seconded. Delegate Crosby.
Aye.
Delegate Harrison. Delegate Boafo. Delegate Howard. Delegate Charkoudian. Delegate Rose excused. Delegate Pruski. Delegate Fennell. Delegate Turner. Sample Hughes excused. Delegate Valderrama. Delegate Chi. Delegate Frazier Hidalgo. Delegate Adams. Delegate Aaron's. Delegate Pippy. Delegate Jackson. Delegate Johnson. Delegate Rogers. Delegate Amprey. Delegate Wyval. Delegate Fisher. Delegate Queen. Bill passes. Next bill, please.
House Bill 209 makes various changes to the Maryland General Corporation Law, the Maryland Real Estate Investment Trust Law, and other Maryland business-related laws, including establishing notices of termination for real estate investment trusts and prohibiting stock certificates from being issued in bearer form, among other things. There
Move
are no
favorable.
amendments.
Motion is favorable. Delegate, any discussion? Seeing none. Delegate Crosby.
Aye.
Delegate Harrison. Delegate Boafo. Delegate Howard. Delegate Sharkoudian. Delegate Rose excused. Delegate Pruski. Delegate Fennell. Delegate Turner. Sample Hughes excused. Delegate Valderrama. Delegate Chi. Delegate Frazier Hidalgo. Delegate Adams. Delegate Aaron's. Delegate Pippy. Delegate Jackson. Delegate Johnson. Delegate Rogers. Delegate Amprey. Delegate Wyval. Delegate Fisher. Delegate Queen. Bill passes. Next bill, please.
229 requires the Commissioner of Labor and Industry to release specified information with parental consent regarding a minor 16 and over with a work permit to specified groups that are registered with the Department of Labor.
Move favorable.
Is there any discussion on this bill? Seeing none. Motion is favorable. Delegate Crosby.
Aye.
Delegate Harrison. Delegate Boafo. Delegate Howard. Delegate Sharkoudian. Delegate Rose is excused. Delegate Pruski. Delegate Fennell. Delegate Turner. Delegate Sample Hughes is excused. Delegate Valderrama. Delegate Chi. Delegate Frazier Hidalgo. Delegate Adams. Delegate Aaron's. I'm sorry. Delegate Pippy. Delegate Jackson. Delegate Johnson. Delegate Rogers. Delegate Amprey. Delegate Wyval. Delegate Fisher. Delegate Queen. Delegate Queen. All right, this was all over the board, but the bill passes. Washington. Why? There you go, sir. Next bill is House Bill 323. I'm sorry? Oh, bill will be held. 327 has been withdrawn. 335 has been withdrawn. We have 379.
House Bill 379 changes the name of the Office of the Commissioner of Financial Regulation to the Office of Financial Regulation and adds a new position of Deputy Commissioner of Non-Depository Activities.
Move favorable.
Movement is favorable on this very edgy bill. Delegate Crosby.
Aye.
Delegate Harrison. Delegate Boafo. Delegate Howard. Delegate Sharkoudian. Delegate Rose is excused. Delegate Pruski. Delegate Fennell. Delegate Turner. Delegate Sample Hughes excused. Delegate Valderrama. Delegate Chi.
Aye.
Delegate Frazier Hidalgo. Aye. Delegate Adams. Delegate Aaron's. Yeah. Delegate Pippy. Aye. Delegate Jackson. Delegate Johnson. Delegate Rogers. Delegate Amprey. Delegate Wyval. Delegate Fisher. Delegate Queen. Bill passes. Next bill.
House Bill 414 generally corrects references in the Washington County Code to the licensing rather than registration of master electricians. There is an amendment in your packet that clarifies that masters are registered and not licensed, and that the county examination only applies to restricted electricians.
Move the bill unfavorable.
Is there a second? Motion is unfavorable. Delegate Crosby, any
Aye.
discussion? Apologize. Seeing none. Delegate Crosby.
Aye.
Delegate Harrison. Delegate Boafo. Delegate Howard. Delegate Sharkoudian. Delegate Rose is excused. Delegate Pruski. Delegate Fennell. Delegate Turner. Delegate Sample Hughes is excused. Delegate Valderrama. Delegate Chi. Delegate Frazier Dago. Delegate Adams. Delegate Aaron's. Delegate Pippy. Delegate Jackson. Delegate Johnson. Delegate Rogers. Delegate Amprey. Delegate Wyval.
And waiting for information from the county attorney to exclude the restricted licensing for this. And so it's a hard lesson learned on his part, I suppose.
There you go. Delegate Fisher. No. Delegate Queen. Bill passes. My part. Bill moves unfavorable.
I want to make sure I'm recording the right.
Thank you. Yes, apologize. All right, next bill, please.
House Bill 419 authorizes a law enforcement agency during a background check to require an applicant to open all of the applicant's social media accounts for review by an investigator.
Move unfavorable.
Any discussion? Seeing none. Motion is unfavorable. Delegate Crosby.
Aye.
Delegate Harrison. Delegate Boafo. Delegate Howard. Delegate Charkoudian. Delegate Rose is excused. Delegate Pruski. Delegate Fennell. Delegate Turner. Delegate Sample Hughes excused. Delegate Valderrama. Delegate Chi. Delegate Frazier Hidalgo. Delegate Adams. Delegate Aaron's. Delegate Pippy. Delegate Jackson. Delegate Johnson. Delegate Rogers. Delegate Amprey. Delegate Wyval. Delegate Fisher. Delegate Queen. Bill fails. Next bill, please.
463 extends the termination date of the State Board of Architects by 10 years.
I'm sorry?
House Bill 463 extends the termination date of the State Board of Architects by 10 years to July 1, to 2034. There's an amendment in your packet that changes the termination date to 2033.
Move the amendment.
Is there a second? All in favor of amendment, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Seeing none.
Move
Bill
the-
is amended.
Move the bill as amended.
Okay, the motion is favorable with amendments. Delegate Crosby.
Aye.
Delegate Harrison. Delegate Boafo. Delegate Howard. Delegate Charkoudian. Delegate Rose. Excuse, apologize. Delegate Pruski. Delegate Fennell. Delegate Turner. Sample Hughes excused. Delegate Valderrama. Delegate Chi. Delegate Frazier Hidalgo. Delegate Adams. Delegate Aaron's. Delegate Pippy. Delegate Jackson. Delegate Johnson. Delegate Rogers. Delegate Amprey. Delegate Wyval. Delegate Fisher. Delegate Queen. Motion is favorable with amendment, passes. Next bill. Another edgy bill. Good job, Johnson. You guys are killing it. Next bill.
Or specifies that a private sector employer may not require as a condition of employment or continued employment an employee or prospective employee to join or remain a member for.
Move unfavorable.
The motion is unfavorable. Do I have a second?
Second.
On the motion for unfavorable, Delegate Crosby.
Aye.
Delegate Harrison. Delegate Boafo. Delegate Howard. Delegate Charkoudian. Delegate Rose is excused. Delegate Pruski. Delegate Fennell. Delegate Turner. Delegate Sample Hughes is excused. Delegate Valderrama. Delegate Chi. Delegate Frazier Hidalgo. Delegate Adams. Delegate Aaron's. Delegate Pippy. Delegate Jackson. Delegate Johnson. Delegate Rogers. Delegate Amprey. Delegate Wyval. Delegate Fisher. Delegate Queen. Bill dies. Unfavorable. We have 505. It's asking for a hold for the amendment.
No.
No, they-
we're
No
good.
amendment?
We're good.
They just got it.
Okay, so is there an amendment?
Yes. House
Please.
Bill, House Bill 505 requires owners of elevators in new privately owned single-family homes to register the elevator with the Commissioner of Labor within 60 days before the elevator is planned to be complete, and the Commissioner must conduct a final inspection on the completion of the installation. Owners will not have to continually re-register their elevators like they do in commercial elevators. There is one amendment, and the amendment provides that the Commissioner may not disclose to the public any information regarding a registered elevator unit installed in a privately owned home, and that the Commissioner must delete the registration of an elevator unit that is installed in a privately owned home upon completion of the final acceptance.
Move the amendment.
Is there a second? Okay, no, we have to vote on the amendment. Would you like? Okay, can we,
We had a
we're
discussion.
gonna move the amendment, and then we can discuss on the bill. Okay, on the amendment, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Hearing none. On
Move the
amendment-
bill as amended.
There we go. There we go. It's, discussion.
Just on the bill.
Seeing none. No, go ahead.
I feel like we're married the way you're treating me, you know that, Jesus. I guess that was recorded, sorry. What happens, we had discussion during the hearing, and the only issue I have with the bill on my side of the world was that, what happens if these elevators can't be inspected within a timely manner? What do we do with that? Is there anything to address that?
I believe we did have the
Yeah.
Did we go ahead?
I was
No,
just
please.
waiting for that.
Go ahead.
So basically, you can still move into the house, but you can't use the elevator. So in theory, there will be stairs, but you can still move into the house. So if there is like a, 70-day backup or something, you can still move in. It's not like
Okay.
you're precluded.
Delegate Adams.
I thought that in the bill, it said that you had to make a request for the appointment 60 days before you needed it.
Yeah.
So what I think they're saying is if there was a date of completion or an occupancy permit that was going to be done, say on May 1st, that you want to make sure that you're 6 days before that making the request. It almost in the bill requires performance, or do you not view it that way?
No, I think that you have to, the 60 days before you're trying to move in, request it. And then if it takes longer than the 60 days, I think that's one thing, but I think they have to just request it by the 60 days that you're trying to move in.
So what if it takes 90 days? But you
Then you can
requested,
move-
yeah, go ahead.
You can move in.
You can move in, you just can't use the elevator.
So you're going to be able to get okay, so it's called a certificate of occupancy.
Mhm.
And you're telling me the certificate of occupancy will be issued notwithstanding a permit that should have been issued based on the safety of an elevator?
In accordance with this, I think that's what it's saying.
All right, so if I stand
But you
on the
can
House
still-
floor and ask that, I can on second reader, somebody's going to
Better
ask the
not.
question
Right.
as to whether or not that's actually the case, so there can be legislative intent. I don't see how, if the inspection means anything, you have to have the inspection done before you can make the house occupancy valid. I mean, that's how that works. You get final electrical, you get final plumbing, you get final structural, whatever that's, it's been a while since I built a house, but the point is, you do all these things, and then you get the certificate of occupancy. If there's something, so for example, there's something wrong with the elevator, but you've given the occupancy permit, what if it's a big issue? And then there's a dispute between the elevator company and the property owner, and now there's a 6-8 month delay or confusion or complaints.
For the elevator? I would
Well,
think
I'm-
you would want that resolved as the person buying the house before you actually started using it, though. Right?
What I know of a certificate of occupancy is that's a government-issued thing that says that house is ready to be occupied, and what you're saying is that it's possible that you're going to have that issued before you get a elevator inspection completed and approved, and I think that's backwards. I think it has to follow that you get the permit, or you get the approval from the elevator inspector, and then you get and so what I'm raising is the issue which relates to, you got banks, you got a builder, you got a property owner, all these things come together on this one fine moment where you get a certificate of occupancy. And I think I'm hearing council say that you could actually get that certificate and then later get a inspection done on the elevator. At that point, what's the enforcement provision if the property owner never gets a final inspection on the elevator? Or if it was a $20,000 elevator and the elevator manufacturer or the installer just never comes to fix it, then what?
A lawsuit. I mean, I'm sure there's, and I would just argue that would be obviously a civil litigation matter if you're not. But go ahead, madam.
Yeah, I just, I'm not for or against it, but I'm just saying what I think this is just trying to say is you can, I understand what you're saying, but they're saying you can still move in, maybe it's not, you still have stairs, so you could still use it. I understand what you're saying, but I do think that is what the bill is saying. If that's what you're asking, is that what the bill is saying? That is what the bill is saying.
If you built
Is that an issue? Is that an issue? It may be, but that is what the bill is
the
saying.
intent of the bill, and again, like if you built a porch, an addition, a porch on your property, they wouldn't say you can't enter the entire property because the porch failed an inspection.
Oh, well, absolutely.
I did it exactly this way, so I guess that didn't happen because I'm only going from experience on that. Maybe that's just my county, but we were allowed to move in, although we couldn't, and we're told the porch is not up to par, so we had to obviously do something with the porch.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to be a thorn in the bill because I think the
understand your
bill's
point.
coming from the right place. So in the hearing, I asked the question, I said, what happens if you make a request for the inspection and it takes way too long and the house is set fallow? The point is that you're holding back a final inspection because these inspections don't happen quickly enough. My question would be, are there enough inspectors? And are they able to show up early enough where if there's a problem, you get some response from the elevator company? And it just, to me, it feels wrong because if it's a plumbing inspection, if it's an electrical inspection, builders know what to expect out of it. Actually, so does the property owner, because they're in front of the bank and saying, hey, bank, look, I can't get an occupancy permit. What would happen if the bank said, well, I'm not going to give you the loan, we're not going to close on the mortgage because you've got an outstanding inspection on your elevator? I'm just asking.
No, I don't know exactly what would happen in that case, just under this bill, I don't know.
All right. I'm not going to beat a dead horse. I just think it's...
You're bringing up some issues. Obviously, I do believe we need to at least investigate the answers. We're not in a rush. So go ahead.
Withdraw my motion to move favorable.
Thank you. We're going to go ahead and hold this bill for some more answers. Thank you, Delegate Rogers. But definitely good question, so I appreciate you. And I'm sure the bill sponsor will be getting back with you in a very timely manner on these questions. Thank you. Next bill, please.
House Bill 662 by Delegate Rogers establishes separate continuing education requirements for an initial real estate broker, real estate salesperson, or associate real estate broker licensee.
Move favorable.
Any discussion, Delegate Aaron's? Oh, no? Oh, apologize. Apologize. Motion was properly seconded on favorable. Delegate Crosby.
Aye.
Delegate Harrison. Delegate Boafo. Delegate Howard. Delegate Charkoudian. Delegate Rose excused. Delegate Pruski. Delegate Fennell. Delegate Turner. Sample Hughes excused. Delegate Valderrama. Delegate Chi. Delegate Frazier-Hidalgo. Delegate Adams. Delegate Aaron's. Delegate Pippi. Delegate Jackson. Delegate Johnson. Delegate Rogers. Delegate Ampery. Delegate Weibel. Delegate Fisher. Delegate Queen. The bill moves as favorable. Next bill.
House Bill 669 establishes an alternative pathway to licensure as a real estate appraiser by allowing applicants to complete the real property appraiser qualification criteria of the practical applications of real estate appraisal program. There is an amendment in your packet that authorizes the same alternative pathway for residential and general real estate certifications.
Move the amendment.
On the amendment, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay.
Move the bill as amended.
Okay, the motion is favorable with amendments. Are there any discussion? Seeing none, Delegate Crosby.
Aye.
Delegate Harrison. Delegate Boafo. Delegate Howard. Delegate Charkoudian. Delegate Rose is excused. Delegate Pruski. Delegate Fennell. Delegate Turner. Simply Hughes excused. Delegate Valderrama. Delegate Chi. Delegate Frazier-Hidalgo. Delegate Adams. Delegate Aaron's. Delegate Pippi. Delegate Jackson. Delegate Johnson. Delegate Rogers. Delegate Ampery. Delegate Weibel. Delegate Fisher. Delegate Queen. Bill passes with amendment. Gonna hold House Bill 775. We're gonna hold. There's a possible amendment we have to work through. 775 is being held. Next bill, please.
House Bill 909 is a sunset extension for the State Commission of Real Estate Appraisers, appraisal management companies, and home inspectors. It extends them to July 1, 2026, and requires an independent evaluation of the commission.
Move favorable.
On the favorable, any discussion? Is everybody all right? I see some confusion. Go ahead.
Six, 8, 6.
It wasn't on the calendar. Correct. Yes, sir.
And I'm sorry.
Go ahead. That's fine.
So we have auctioneers back home who are concerned with that, the auctioneer business model being tied into that. I thought that this hearing, we concluded that that was not the case. Would council, I mean, it wasn't, there was a certain business model they were after, and it wasn't an auctioneer. You had to take possession of,
I'm sorry, which bill are you referring? Because,
we're on 909.
yeah, this is just a sunset extension for the State Commission of Real Estate Appraisers.
I understand. So the motion was favorable. I believe it was properly seconded, correct?
Yes.
Okay. On the favorable, Delegate Crosby.
Aye.
Delegate Harrison. Delegate Buafo. Delegate Howard. Delegate Charkoudian. Delegate Rose is excused. Delegate Pruski. Delegate Fennell. Delegate Turner. Sample Hughes excused. Delegate Valderrama. Delegate Chi.
Aye.
Delegate Frazier Adago. Delegate Adams. Delegate Aaron's. Delegate Pippy. Delegate Jackson. Delegate Johnson. Delegate Rogers. Delegate Ampry. Delegate Wyval. Delegate Fisher. Delegate Queen. Bill passes favorably. I believe we have one more bill.
Yes, House Bill 1225 requires the family member of a disabled or deceased real estate broker to submit a death certificate or evidence of the disability to the State Real Estate Commission in order to carry on the business of the disabled or deceased individual.
Move favorable.
On the favorable, any questions? Seeing none, Delegate Crosby.
Aye.
Delegate Harrison. Delegate Buafo. Delegate Howard. Delegate Charkoudian. Delegate Rose is excused. Delegate Pruski. Delegate Fennell. Delegate Turner. Sample Hughes is excused. Delegate Valderrama. Delegate Chi. Delegate Frazier Dago. Delegate Adams. Delegate Aaron's. Delegate Pippy. Delegate Jackson. Delegate Johnson. Delegate Rogers. Delegate Ampry. Delegate Wyval. Delegate Fisher. Delegate Queen. Brief indulgence, please, guys. Hold on. Don't fade away yet. Wait. So is there, let's just hold it. Yeah, there's no rush, guys. We have plenty of time. Yeah. Okay, I believe that that's a voting session for today. I will see everybody at 8. Does anybody have any questions? Thank you guys very much for today.